If you're listening right now to the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we know something about you. We know that you're obsessed with Little House on the Prairie.
For more than half a century, Little House on the Prairie, the series and the books have been bright lights for people all over the world who seek out goodness, decency, and human connection.
Here on the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we celebrate everything that made Little House so special.
The stories, the characters, the actors, and the messages that have made Little House iconic family television.
And a perfect counterpoint to a world that feels like it's going off the rails every day.
Where is Michael Landon when we need him most? I'm your host, Pamela Bob.
And I'm your prairie bitch, Allison Arngrim.
And I'm Dean Butler.
Our hashtag imaginary boyfriend. Join us for our loving, quirky, and often irreverent conversations about the finest family drama in the history of television.
And the imperfect people who made it that way.
Presented by our devoted patrons, and visit SeaMeValley.com.
I thought it was fun. Hello! We're on. I was talking, and then it went on, and then it bled into that, and that's just how we're going to roll today. Hi, everybody. Hi, Bonnet Heads. I'm Pamela Bob, your host, creator and star of Living on a Prairie. I am here with our wonderful and beloved, I always say beloved, but it's actually true, prairie bitch, Miss Allison Arngrim.
Well,
hello.
Scorned and scoffed and, yeah.
Scoffed.
But she is
scoffed,
beloved.
and
No
beloved.
question.
Yes.
Totally beloved, yeah.
And also our cutie patootie, hashtag imaginary boyfriend, Dean Butler. How are you guys?
Wow, thank you.
You are
Thank
a cutie
you.
patootie.
Good morning.
You
Well,
still
that's
got
very
it,
sweet of
Butler.
you.
Still make
What's
the
that?
ladies blush. You still make the ladies blush.
I
hear
do?
about it
Really?
all the
Okay.
time.
They go crazy. But in all seriousness, knowing that you are, well, older than me, I know, I'm 100. So y'all look good. You've kept it together. Just dead serious. As an actor, as a person, you have kept it together through the years. You've maintained good health. You exercise. You have to stay out of the sun because you'd burst into flames.
Yes, it's the Pilates green juice, isn't it, Butler?
Yeah. He's been taking care of himself, and so there's
So have you.
a lot of guys younger than you who don't look that good. You look good. You have kept it together, and you're still cute, and that's why the women at your table go, hey, he's dreamy. He's dreamy.
Dreamy, right. There you go. All right.
It's true, and
that's what happens when you take care of yourself.
Joy and Christine put out some posts of, we have our merch shop, in case people didn't know.
Yes.
We have wonderful merch in our merch shop, very insider baseball Little House merch stuff. And they posted one with yours within the big heart and with your face saying hashtag my imaginary boyfriend. And the comments, girl, they are wild about Dean Butler. Wow. Yes.
I'm still
that
just
got it,
blows
my
me
friend.
Away. I'm so grateful and flattered by it. But it's like I'm very grateful for it. No question.
Yeah,
it's
really
kind
nice.
and it's cool and I love being able to, in those few moments that we have with people when we meet them, I love being able to be that guy.
Yes,
to the
of
extent that I'm
course.
still able to be that guy.
Right,
So
right.
That's really cool.
That's why you're all of our hashtag imaginary boyfriends. There's
It's
a
so much
reason
better-
for the hashtag.
Well, it's better than if people met you and said, wow, he used to be cute. What happened to him?
Yeah, yes.
Or,
Oh, no,
I like
no
him
question.
So much.
Oh, my God.
He's creepy now. He's so creepy now.
Right.
Bad I had a crush on him
Right.
because he's so weird and terrible and skeevy. I get. No, so nobody's saying that. So you score. You're like,
I appreciate that. And we're going to get the opportunity to go out and meet people again soon. I mean, Charlotte and Wendy and I are going to be in
where are you going to be?
Mansfield, on the 26th and 27th of the month. And then I'll be at Dallas Expo, the Fan Expo, on October 4th and 5th. And then we're going to be...
Is Bonnie Bartlett going to
Allison,
be at that
we're
one?
going to be doing something fun. Now, I haven't seen the paperwork come through this morning. Has it come through this morning?
no, it has not come through this morning.
Okay.
But we're plotting.
So we can't really talk about it yet, but something fun is brewing for us in Rhode Island, which could be
East Coast. East
really
Coast.
fun, a quick thing, leading right into our event in New York, which we are excited about on November 22nd.
And apologies. I'm actually going to put out a video today, the day that we're recording, because people have been trying to buy tickets for our event in New York, our live podcast event. There was a technical trouble with the venue's website, so they're revamping their website. Our page is not up yet. It will be any second. I'm literally awaiting the email from Green Room 42 saying, you're up, you're live, go for it. So patience, everyone. I'm sorry there's a delay.
Well, so people can write it down. Although by the time this drops, it should be live.
Yeah, I was sending everybody there, and they all were like, "I can't get tickets. I can't get that.
Yeah, I'm getting. That's why I'm going to be putting out a video today because the amount of emails and messages I'm getting, I can't get tickets. What do I do? It's not you. It's me.
So you're going to be sharing. So you're going to be sharing the URL for people. And,
yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
And just saying sorry for the delay. We will announce when we are officially on sale, but it is happening November 22nd, Green Room 42, New York City. I'm super excited, and the fact that people have been wanting to buy tickets also makes me super psyched that you guys are all excited about it too.
I just made my hotel reservation, so I'm in right there in the neighborhood.
Good.
I'm excited. So and then like 3 weeks later, we're going to have our group in Simi Valley,
which keeps growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, no. So we've just added Bonnie Bartlett to our cast, and there's another what could be, I think, for Little House fans, a huge, wonderful surprise if we're able to announce it. When we're able to announce it, I think people are going to be delighted. There are definitely fun things happening. Little House on the Prairie castreunions.com is the URL. So,
and all of this is in the show notes.
We're finishing off the year with a bang.
I mean, for real, who knew year 51 was going to be just as epic as year 50?
I thought it would slow down.
Stupid.
And then 2026 shows no signs of slowing down. We're plotting things for 2026. I had to start my Excel sheet of 2026 gigs, and I got things on the calendar. And now I'm plotting something. January is my birthday. Me and Dean have books. We like to sign them, and it might involve chili. I'll keep you posted.
And right here in the SoCal area.
Right in town.
Yeah. Right in our neighborhood.
I don't even know what to make of that, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
Well, it'll be tasty.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be tasty. Yeah.
Good.
It'll be delicious, whatever.
Great.
So I think we should get into this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get into this right now. Yeah.
We will, but first, from Prairie Partners.
Well, no, first
and
you need to do the
Go.
tease.
Yes, and UBN Go. This
well, no, wait a minute. There's a line before that.
What's the line before?
I take time to write these things. I was up till 10:30 last night writing this.
I'm sorry, Dean. I passed right. Okay, here we go. I'm going to read it word for word. Okay.
Well, no, you can improvise on it because you're a great improviser.
No. Here we go. Ready? I'm going to put on my podcaster voice. Here we go. Here's my NPR voice. Coming up today. Shit. Okay, here we go. Coming up today, it's an episode about standing up against bad boys. And now I can say it's a Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, y'all. Produced by UBN Go and Prairie Partners. Boop, boop. Okay, Dean, hit it.
Yes.
What are we talking about today?
All right, today's episode is season 3, episode 9, The Bully Boys, which premiered on December 6th, 1976. Written by B.W. Sandifer, a writer who was a big part of Michael's Bonanza life and was certainly a significant part, served as a writer-producer on Little House. I think B.W. Sandifer was still writing episodes when I was stepped into the show.
These are just things I would never know, so I love hearing this stuff.
The Sandifer was a name. There were certain names you saw all the time. He goes into and you go, oh, it's a Sandifer. It's going to be funny.
And this episode was directed by Victor French. Really fun there. So, Allison, what is this episode about?
Well, I love this episode.
There's so much going on.
You were up all night, so I said,
you better read it all.
Word
and there could be mistakes in it too. So
I will work it here. Indeed, will. The Gallagher brothers. Who the hell is named Gallagher? This is a made-up name. The Gallagher brothers ride into Walnut Grove. When they do, the quiet little prairie town becomes their personal playground of fear. They drink, they steal, they humiliate, and they make it clear that no one, not even Charles Ingalls, can stop them. The townsfolk shrink back, paralyzed by the raw, ugly force of intimidation. They're really bad. But terror only lasts as long as silence. When the Gallanders push too far, Walnut Grove faces a brutal choice. Stake out in the shadow of bullies, or stand up, risk everything, and reclaim their dignity. The Bully Boys is one of the Little House on the Prairie's rawest morality tales. It really is.
For real.
Where frontier justice collides with mob cruelty, and where the soul of a community is tested in the fire of fear. But I kind of like the bad guy.
I know you did. You're like a freaking mob wife in this episode.
I'm not a mob wife. And he was very nice. He was a very nice boy.
Was it? Well, he did a really good job in this episode because I believed him.
And I think this is so timely. I think this is another one of these episodes that's
I was
so
freaking out watching this.
prescient.
It so is. I mean, you can't deny the parallels. Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
where
yeah.
do we even begin? This episode is cray-cray.
Yeah, so I just want to say, it's interesting. I'm just going to say right up front, because I always pay such close attention to David Rose's music. The music at the start of this is a little misleading.
I know.
And
There are a couple of music
where
moments.
are we going here?
Agreed. Okay, Dean, I have that in my notes too. The opening, there's another part, and when we get to it, I will point out, what were they thinking with the music in this part?
I know what you mean, because I went, what was that?
It was crazy. We'll get to it.
Okay.
But you're right. The music starts off really quirky, funny, right? Like it's
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a boing. He's got the boing, boing.
Hillbillies have arrived. Doing the doing. Yes.
I mean, I get, okay, we're dealing with sort of a redneck vibe.
Yes.
I get that, but it also has a little bit of wistful, silly to it. And this is not wistful silly.
No,
There's
we
nothing
think
wistful
this is
silly
going to be a
going on here.
comedic episode. When you start off with the funny music, it's a comedy.
Right,
yeah.
And it's not.
It's not. It's very.
It is not.
Now,
There is
I
so
was
much
creeped
woman
out.
beating in this episode. It's crazy.
They target the women. They're cowards.
my
They're cowards.
God.
They don't want to fight the men. They want to attack the girls. They're such cowards. The little boy. Okay, first of all, I was creeped out by all three of them. The minute they showed up and they went to their cabin, I was creeped out. I didn't say, "Oh, look at the two cowboys and their baby brother." I said, "This is getting Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes." Yeah. Are these guys? I mean, is there some inbreeding going on here? They don't seem right. There seems to be something the matter with these three guys, and why are they all living in this cabin, and why are they so weird? And I thought, they are creepy and disturbing. I'm feeling Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I wouldn't go near that cabin. They are disturbing. There's something wrong with them.
Yes.
Right away. Rah.
I just wonder about why. Well, again, in the interest of serving a story, you make your villain as reprehensible as possible. Clearly, B.W. Sandifer and Michael drew a very reprehensible group of villains in this. And it's and they are all equally, actually, Sam, who is played by,
I know, he's so familiar.
Oh, yeah, the two dudes are in everything. The two dudes are in, you got Roy Jensen and Jeffrey Lewis.
Jeffrey Lewis, that's who I'm thinking. Jeffrey Lewis is Sam in this.
He was Cole Younger in the episode called The Older Brothers.
Yes, The Older Brothers, right. And he had this wonderful handlebar mustache in that, and in this he's clean shaven. He plays a lot of bad guys. Jensen plays a lot of jerks in the stuff he's in. You go down there, and yes, they did the big trifecta. They did Bonanza. They did High Chaparral. They did Guns. You go down all the westerns, and then they're in a bunch of weird movies. But when you look at the credits, it's bad guy, creepy guy, bank robber, thug. There's just horrible people all the time. And
they do it really well. They are really horrible.
Yeah, they do. So you have this sort of. It's interesting. It's I wonder what inspires the desire to tell this kind of story in this way. in the Little House world. Now, the morality is crystal clear here. So there's, with no difficulties knowing who the problem is. But it really is interesting that they went as dark on this as they did.
When was the 76?
Yeah.
76. So I'm 14, by the way.
The bicentennial year. It's like what we're getting.
Things were, I'm always saying things were rough in the 70s. Remember we had the huge recession, which is why all the shows about not having enough money are like, because that was happening and factories closing. But there was a sort of in some cities, a crime thing. Crime was up in the, everyone now goes, is crime up, is crime down? Whatever it is, I can tell you it's way down from the 70s.
Yes.
The 70s were nuts.
Yeah.
There was this period in the 70s where there was a lot of violent crime.
Yeah.
And it had to do with demographics and a whole bunch of weird stuff, but it really has frankly settled down. And remember, what year was Charles Bronson's Death Wish? That was the 70s.
Let's look it up.
And that was reacting to people's feelings about crime and feeling threatened in the cities. It wasn't really so much going on.
And that character was what? He was sort of like equalizer.
1974.
Yeah.
Right,
he was a regular guy, and his wife and daughter get horribly brutalized by these guys, and the cops are like, well, we don't even know if we can find them because this is happening all the time, blah, blah, blah. And he goes berserk and hunts everybody down, and becomes it's not so much equalizer. There's not a lot of talking. He just, kills them all. Charles Bronson,
Charles Bronson was not famous for dialogue.
Yeah, really nice guy in real life.
Really?
Gentle, loving,
Really?
I have a Charles Bronson story.
How that works.
He's just a beautiful person. I have a beautiful Charles Bronson story.
Wow.
But that was a thing in the 70s. There were a lot of movies. When was Serpico? There were a lot of movies.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Innocent people being victimized.
Well, it was the era of the anti-hero. I mean, it was,
right.
definitely the anti-hero era.
Yeah.
And people felt endangered in the 70s, and in some cities they were. I know. Well, my God, the things were going on in LA. I mean, the Hillside Strangler was happening. It was like it was the era. It was the golden age of serial killers.
Yeah, it was.
It was a weird time.
And New York was bankrupt.
New York was rough. LA was
insane.
rough. I mean, I was running around like, la, 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 nothing's wrong. It was insanely dangerous, actually, and I should not have been out on the streets. But the 70s were kind of dangerous compared to now. I mean, it's like, by comparison, you'd really think there's like safer now, which is
so
weird.
you bring into this story, you just right off the bat, we talk about this all the time, that there was very little... There was no ambiguity about this. These guys, the kid arrived, the young guy, Bubba, arrives at school and, shoves. Now, Willie sort of deserved it by, criticizing his name. But, okay, the kid definitely established himself right away. And now they walk, the two brothers, older brothers, walk into the mercantile and, they take pears and they want a
grift,
bushel
man.
and they spend all this money and then they demand credit. And yeah. And then they go to the mill and they get lumber.
How they do it is so smart, but it is such an evil grift. I mean,
it's the oldest trick in the book. I said, I know this trick. Was this when it was invented in 1876? This must have been it. Because the old, I'm getting a bank draft in a few days. I've heard this one.
Everyone is just so darn trusting in Walnut Grove. I mean, even the Olsons, who didn't want to put anything on credit, were finally like, okay, sure. I mean...
Because they were scared.
Yeah, they were scared, though. He broke.
And can I just say, Jonathan Gilbert did his famous hit the wall bit, which has now become like a regular bit, where someone sits down and they shove him, and he flings himself. You barely tap him with your elbow. Because I had one where I hit him, and now in this one, bam, into the wall.
And
this
he flies out of the
Gilbert's signature piece. He does it so well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting, and we're going to talk more about this as we go on, because it just gets it just ramps up. I mean, this plot is very simple. It's really about how much will people take.
Right.
It is really what this is all about. And interestingly, once again, we see that Mary is the voice of conscience in the community who really speaks up about this right up front.
Right.
And is consistent about it. Although she gets scared and wants to back off too.
With good reason.
Yeah,
Holy
When
moly.
she gets punched in the face, she says, I'm not telling. Laura's like, oh my God, we gotta tell someone. And she says, no, I don't want to be a tattletale. And what is this, like, snitches get stitches? What do they don't want us? What is going on? This guy just he punched her in front of like 12 people. I'm thinking they're probably talking someone. But weirdly, nobody's like, I didn't see nothing. They're all doing the intimidation thing like it's the mafia. I didn't see anything. Well, like the Olsons, because he started smashing stuff in the store and they freaked out. So he intimidated them enough that nobody ratted him out for this. Right. Yikes.
Yeah, we see them at a point in the second act where we're jumping through the first act. But I think, again, this is Michael with a morality tale about good behavior and bad behavior, and what do people do about it. And this is the allegorical part of this that we can relate to today, is when we feel like things are going off the rails, and what are we going to do about it?
Right.
And I think these are. I'm going to tip here. I hate the way this ends, but it's okay. You get an ending, but people have to be willing to stand up, and Mary establishes that, and she says it at the end. You have to stand up and not take it anymore, and that's the only thing that fixes this. You have to hit a bully in the face. That
and power in numbers, because
like girls pile on Bubba at that certain point.
These guys were cowards. As soon as they were outnumbered, they were, gotta go.
Let's go back, though, to the schoolhouse. So they've already been to the Olsons. They're starting the grift, the intimidation factor. They're basically robbing them blind, and there's nothing they can do about it. Then we go to school, and we see Bubba, right? We're introduced to Bubba, who's also equally horrible. In the schoolyard, this was the craziest scene ever when he, out of the blue, punches Mary in the face. Over nothing. There's no, she's just sort of standing up to him, because what was he doing? He was trying to
dodgeball. He whacked a kid. He invented modern dodgeball.
He threw the ball. Didn't he throw the ball?
Yes,
and
this is why we don't play dodgeball. Right, exactly. So he purposely hits this. He could have killed this girl, by the way. P.S. You could kill someone by hitting someone in the face with a ball like that. So he purposely knocks cold out this girl. And then when Mary sort of confronts him, he punches her, zero warning, so freaking hard. It is jarring, to say the least, as a viewer watching this. Laura is surprisingly a little more nonchalant than I'd like her to be about it. She's concerned, but no one is totally freaking out the way I would be freaking out. Right.
And a guy hitting a girl, even now, but back
oh my gosh.
then, even a bully, even someone who's like, I'm a bully, I'm terrible. Girls? You're hitting girls?
I know.
Ew. And then also it would have been unmanly. Like, what kind of coward are you? You hit a girl, dude? Really? But the fact that he did it instantly, I kept thinking, it's like in prison. He's in like a prison movie. Figure out who's in charge, who's the baddest person.
Right.
And she stepped up. She's in charge. Okay, good night. Bam. Take out the person who might stand up to you, and then the others will cower.
Right, and it worked.
He was correct.
Yeah. Right. It is just so shocking to see it.
We see it working today.
Yeah, of course.
We're seeing it every day work exactly that way today.
Yes.
In our world. And I know there are people who listen to us are probably going to go like, I'm turning this off because I don't like that you're going here. But it's pretty tough to miss when you put it in the context of something like this story.
Well, that's the thing.
Everybody's such a bully online.
That's right. That's right. And the thing is that if people say don't get political, this isn't political. We're just stating the facts of what the culture is at this present moment, right? We're not talking
we are tolerating
decency and how to treat people.
That's right. This isn't. We're not talking. anything political in the sense of laws and rules and blah,
Right.
blah, blah. We're talking about the culture of what is going on currently in our country.
So the Gallanders are an illustration of no moral guardrails
Right.
of any kind. There is nothing that they won't do. And they think nothing of it because no one is pushing back.
Right.
Until Mary pushes back.
Right.
I mean, in the case of, because these guys have been doing this for a long time. Clearly, this is not their first stop.
No, this is
on
a
the
grift.
road
This
of
is
being
their
despicable.
grift. Right.
Yeah,
And violence and intimidation is a part of it. It's because it works. Guess what? It works.
It
right.
does work. It does work. Yeah, I think what Walnut Grove, I think the lesson here, or one of the things we can talk about, or that we do talk about with Walnut Grove, is Walnut Grove and the people of Walnut Grove are representative of goodness, decency, trust. Now they are woken up
almost
by
to
this,
a fault, right?
The community, which I think is allegorical to how we want to think of the larger society, is where people are kind and respectful and honest with each other about what they do. And this is an episode that just completely turns that upside down and leaves the people of Walnut Grove wondering, what is our trust misplaced? And Reverend Alden at a certain point,
Poor Reverend Alden.
wants this to be okay. He wants to think that it's going to be good, and he ultimately comes around.
He does the Christian jealousy, says there's forgiveness because he buys one of their BS stories. And he believes them. And I'm going, that's right up there with I have a bank draft coming Friday. I've heard all these stories before. And he buys it. To the point where he's telling people, you can't be so hard on them. They've been through so much. They're just acting out. They're traumatized. These people have issues. They need our help. Yeah. And then it's all a lie, and he loses it.
And the thing that's sad about Reverend Alden, too, is that he really is walking the walk, right? Like, he is being a true Christian in the best possible way. But
he went in their house and sat down.
Absolutely.
They could have killed him. It was very dangerous.
That's right. So he's doing absolutely what Jesus' teachings
what
were.
He's called to do.
What he's called to. He is a man of integrity, and this is the way. Yeah. And, he has a very horrible, rude awakening. Thank God, because, there's also at a point you go, Reverend... These guys are lying. They're grifters. They're bad. They're violent. Although no one knew about the Mary slap, even though she had a frickin' purple swollen eye for the entire rest of the episode. Did no one realize she was beat up by someone? No, they didn't tell. They said she just fell, right?
Pa puts it together.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have that line of wisdom. He said, something about one black eye is better than two.
Yeah.
Something like that in that realm. So I mean, this happens. You just
but
don't
they
want it
didn't
to
know a
happen again.
boy did it, let alone they had made a boy.
Well, she would not. She didn't acknowledge that.
Yeah, no.
Now, I terrible person that I am. I'm like, so if Mary,
the terrible person that you are.
Typical. Jeez.
Had Mary stood up and come forward sooner, how much of this crap would have been prevented?
Right.
I know she's only a child, and a boy hit her in the face hard enough to give her a damn concussion, for God's sakes. But you look back, and this is why when people say, I don't want to press charges, I want to come forward. But the person who comes forward gets the ball rolling.
Right.
And if you come forward, then how many others later does this prevent sometimes? And this is one of the situations where had she done an outcry, gone to the teacher, whatever, would there have been some awareness of how screwed up these guys were before Carolyn?
Well, and of course the answer
Right.
is yes. But you need to play out the narrative of the story.
Right.
So, of course, you're not going to... We're going to get a lesson in the cost of not speaking up.
Right. Boom. Okay, before we get to that, though, let's talk a little Nelly right now. Because Nelly witnesses a girl getting beaten to the ground.
Yes.
And she is... not at all bothered by it. And the friends, like any good mob wife... becomes partners with the mob boss, which is Bubba.
Cute. Now they had there was Jason, and there was Johnny Johnson, and there was the Luke, the pig farmer.
Yes.
All of these many boys. And I was like, I mean, Mitch Vogel, great guy, not my type, whatever. I liked.
Oh, you liked this guy.
Oh, you did?
Mickey LeClaire. I liked him. He was very and funny. Oh, that kid was funny. Well, I mean, there's a scene. Reverend Alden's given the big lecture, like the sermon, like, and this is it. And he watched that scene again. Mickey LeClaire yawns, and it is absolutely realistic. That's
funny.
Yawn.
That is funny.
He just goes. Yawns right in the middle of it, and it's real. It's like a real. I'm like, wow, that's some nerve. That's
a good
like
choice.
Hysterical.
Yeah,
he
that's
did
a great
bunch
choice.
Of stuff.
Yeah,
it's a great choice.
And in real life too, he was charming and funny. He was a very nice. It's always a very nice person who punched Mary in the face. He was a lovely boy.
Do you know how old he was? He was really good.
Not very. He wasn't one of these 27-year-olds thing. Yeah. I think he was just in his teens.
Sure.
I have to check.
He was very, very good. Also, the relationship between Bubba and the two other men, they're his brothers, right?
Yeah,
it's so disturbing on every level. You just keep thinking like, oh, he's learning to beat women from these guys.
Exactly.
He's also being treated like a slave in their little cabin. It's just such bad news. Oh, it's such bad news.
But we got to walk around arm in arm, and that whole scene. And get
your peppermint sticks.
You clung to him. Actually,
I did.
did.
I'd found
which is a smart move, though, because she was safe.
Right, exactly.
I mean, she
Keep
was
your
the
friends
queen
close, your enemies closer, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And back then, before we had lovely Luke and the darling Percival, I always thought that Nellie was going to marry someone awful. And when he showed up, I said, well, they finally found me a boyfriend. This is going to be the kind of guy. I'm going to have this guy. I'm going to have a boyfriend in the show. And it's going to be someone just terrible. Me and my terrible boyfriend will live happily ever after.
Well, I mean, the problem would have been for you if they had gone that direction, and they never would have done that to you, frankly, is that you would have become unredeemable.
Right.
And that would have been a death blow for the character.
Well,
I mean, Bubba is a one-shot deal, and Bubba gets what's coming to him.
Yeah.
You could never be aligned with someone like that.
Right, because Bubba goes into the vortex of the people we never ever see again after this episode.
Right.
And rightfully so.
A summer fling, but
a 48-minute fling.
When we're talking about the candy, and he's like, let me see the sour ball first.
Yeah.
And he's like, so every day, he starts going, so every day. You can. He's ponying up. I'm like, you can have candy. Most of my bribery people just say, yes, I'll take a bag of licorice.
Right.
He says, oh, you can get all of the candy every day. He has to have everything. He ratchets it up. These guys are never satisfied. So you can get all the candy every day? And I go, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, let me see the sour ball. Tries and goes, yeah, okay, we can be friends. And he makes a deal. And he is so funny. And the whole attitude, and that scene, how well he plays it in our chemistry. This guy was great. We got along like a house of fire. He was darling.
He did a wonderful job. I mean, everybody, all these guys did their job.
Oh yeah.
They, there's no quibbling about the performances that they gave.
God, no,
what we're quibbling about, of course, is the or what we're questioning, or what we are responding to is the effectiveness of a really horrible message.
And it worked. And you have women like Nellie attracted to raw power. We don't care if it's for bad. Is he on the good side? Is he on the bad side? I don't know, but he's powerful and in charge.
Right. And again, the thing that's so reprehensible about her in this is that she sees him beating women, and she's cool with it.
It's Mary.
As long as it's not her. And it's Mary. Mary.
I
right.
like her.
Right. It's so crazy.
Where is that? I just want to see something about how. Okay. Well, we need to take a quick break. Let's get to Ma and the moment that really flips the episode.
The moment of all.
Scary.
Moments. Yeah. Okay, so they continue the grift. They're grifting. They're cheating Hanson. They're cheating everyone in the town, right?
They rip off Hanson.
Yeah, they're cheating Hanson. And Reverend's urging everyone.
And everyone knows they're being cheated. It's not like it's all out in the open now. The Olsons were cheated. They know it. Hanson's been cheated. He knows it. Everybody knows these guys are bad news. No one knows quite what to do about it until the moment comes where it becomes clear something has to be done. And that moment is with Ma.
So Ma's coming la-di-da-di-da with her basket of eggs to come sell them at the mercantile. Right. And the two older brothers, the Gallender brothers,
Sam and George,
decide that they're going to, give her a little visit and end up...
Shake Ma down a little bit.
Shake her down. I mean, it's all sexual innuendo. It's horrible. It's horrific.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
It's disturbing.
Of course, she drops all the eggs. The eggs all break. But she's terrified, and rightfully so. They're horrible. They hold her. They're touching her. They're intimidating her. Yeah. And she runs off. Thoughts about this scene? This scene is crazy. Also, the scene is crazy.
When she's back at the house.
Okay.
And Pa.
Well, let's stay. That's jumping to Act 3. But the scene. Let's talk about. Let's talk more about this scene where they come on. That's probably in the Little House world. That's probably as overtly a menacing scene as we will ever see has ever been shot on the show.
It's bad. Also, those eggs, that's like a week spent. That was a lot of money with eggs. And she, so that's hurting her. It's hurting her where she was like, wait, those are my beautiful eggs. It did. And very weirdly creepy, symbolic of all these. And then they're literally holding her and touching her. Nobody does that. And this is Carolyn. I mean, viewers had to have gone, oh, that's your mom. That's everybody's mom. And they're touching her and saying things, they're touching her cheek, and they won't let her leave. They have hold of her.
Right.
Oh, no. This is assault. This is bad.
And as a viewer watching it, this would be a horrible scene to watch if it was any female character. But the fact, exactly movie, what you said, Allison, the fact that it is Ma adds a layer of horror to it that as a viewer watching it is unfathomable. It's a horror story what's happening right now.
And as she runs off screaming, "Keep your hands off of me," terrified, running away, let's take a break.
Cliffhanger. We'll be right back.
When you visit Simi Valley, California, you're stepping into the pages of history. Go from the pioneers to the presidents. Explore beautiful wildflowers, hike through iconic Hollywood locations, and end your day aboard the actual Air Force One at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum. Throughout the summer, take the Little House 50th Anniversary Tour at Big Sky Movie Ranch. Less than 15 minutes from Los Angeles and 30 minutes from Universal Studios, Simi Valley has small-town charm with big-time history. Go to visitsimiValley.com for more information. We are so grateful to visitsimiValley.com for their commitment to presenting the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
Okay, and we're back. Cliffhanger. What happens next? Let me just preface by saying what happens next in the Ingalls home between Pa and Ma is the hottest thing Pa has ever done in the entire episode, in the entire history of Little House on the Prairie.
Explain that.
Okay, so he comes home. Ma's just ran home from being accosted by the Gallender men. And he clearly knows something is very wrong with her. And again, this episode, everyone doesn't want to tell, right? No one wants to tell. So she's going, no, I just dropped the eggs. And he's like, come on, give it up. Something is wrong. And he figures out that these men have touched. They say her skirt is ripped. She is visibly shaken. She is crying. And he finds out that they have accosted her. And his response, the way that he handles the scene, the way that he's forceful with Ma, but in the best possible way, like the good forceful.
He really. I was struck by the fact that he really took her, put her face in his hands, and really took her.
Yes.
In. I thought that was an interesting choice in that moment to do that, because that was sort of in some ways like what the Gallanders were doing to her. The intention's very different.
Yes.
He wants her to be honest about what happened. Did they put their hands on you?
I gotta say, This scene is like trigger warning.
Yeah.
And let's go there. Yes, as a survivor. Wow. Her portrayal of trauma from sexual assault is so dead on in this scene. The desperation to say it wasn't that.
Ugh,
well,
breaks my
it
heart.
was. Yeah, they made me spill the eggs. It was the eggs. I dropped the eggs. I'm hysterical to the point I'm going to lose my mind. She's crying. She's absolutely losing it. But she's going. It was the eggs, and then she tries to blame herself. She says, "If I had sold them to her, maybe I could blame myself. Maybe
Right.
it's my fault. It's my fault. Yeah. That's it. And then she's like, they were there." And she just cried. The more he asks her, know what really happened, she cries harder and harder. And she's desperately trying to put up the defense mechanism, which people do. Well, there were these men and they said something, and then I dropped the eggs, and that's what happened. You left out the entire incident, what really happened. Right. And desperately trying to block out the actual incident to try to say, I'm not crying because I was almost, I'm crying because I dropped the eggs. Right. And I should have sold them to him. And it's like anything, grasping at straws to make it
the
not.
self-blame.
It was for Charles the reality that the question, did they put their hands on you?
And he had
clearly
to do it.
That they did.
And
that
he
obviously is the turning moment.
And he was right, because he grabbed her, and although it seems harsh, he was right. He had to go, no. He was like a really direct.
I'll take all those excuses away.
We're in a hurry, so we're going to cut through the denial phase. You need to tell me now what really happened. It's okay, I'm here, but you're telling me what really happened. And then she tells him. And it's like, that's what he was right. He was like the police having to go, okay, we don't have time, we understand you're doing, but you're going to need to fess up. And then she tells him. Right. And it's like, yikes.
And I will say, I mean, to be totally pedantic and stupid about it, but there is a reason why I'm saying this is maybe the hottest thing he has ever done in the history of the series.
Why?
Because
is that taking charge of that? Is that what it is?
Yes. There's something about, and I am a uber feminist. This has nothing to do with female weakness at all. But in a partnership, any partnership, to know that someone has your back and to know that you are that kind of supportive, that if anything happened to you, your partner would do anything to defend you, to help you, to save you, to get the bad guy, for better or worse, is a kind of, I mean, Allison, back me up on this. Like, I don't even know the right words for it other than there's nothing freaking hotter than that. Like, it's, and I don't mean to be silly or stupid about it. It is incredible.
He is a protector. There's nothing better than
being protected.
A protector of women.
Yes.
And that he is direct, he's a protector, and he has made her his priority. It is now clear if she'd ever question, am I just the wife and I do the cooking and the cleaning, I'm cool to hang out with, am I his priority? Yes. Because he just made it clear that this is the most important thing in the world, that this happened to you, and he's going to go kill somebody.
He's going to go take care of it.
It's the priority.
Yes.
And you are
again,
that
for better or
important.
for worse, but that's
because
it.
The assault, the kind of people who do that, and especially these two guys, their whole thing was making the victim unimportant and not a person. And he's just come in and go, no, you're actually the most important person on earth right now, and I'm going to go see about this.
And, I mean, not to get dark or anything, and we won't harp on this, but there are so many abuse victims who, when they finally do tell, are not believed. Or they're believed, but nothing happens about it. Or
wasn't that bad.
Or wasn't that bad. Or maybe it was you. Maybe what did you do to provoke it?
You should have sold the eggs.
Right, exactly. So it's that she is totally believed. He is totally there to protect her. You're absolutely right, Allison, that she is his number one priority. She comes first. He's going to do something about it. And just to see that hopefully justice will be served, even if it's physical violence,
And he recognizes the trauma. That's why he doesn't buy the egg story. He is watching and he sees exactly what you're doing, goes, she's at trauma level 10. This is not the eggs.
And this is what we want from all partnerships, whether it's friendships, whether it's lovers, whether it's,
Of course. And so he races off.
It's so good.
He steps in. I mean, he follows Sam into the house, which is sort of like probably not a great decision to have made.
It's a terrible decision.
With the brother. But he steps in there and engages probably in one of the most aggressive fight scenes we've ever seen on the series.
I know. It is an epic. I mean, it is also very raw in its violence. Like and it goes on for a long time.
Yeah, no, it's not punch, you're out.
No.
It goes on for a while.
He just gets on him. First of all, he whacks the other guy and manages to get the door shut.
To even the
then
odds right away and
he
locks
teases
the
out of
door.
this guy. Just gets on him and just wails on him for a really long time.
Yeah.
A really long time.
So that fight, very strong. George breaks the door down, comes in with whatever he's got in his hand, and breaks three of Charles's ribs. Mr. Edwards sees the team galloping along, pulls the wagon over, sees Charles crumpled up inside the back. Interesting that they threw him in the wagon and sent him off.
Right.
But then cut
Mr. Edwards is
to
always wandering around.
Yeah.
cut to completely inappropriate David Rose music in that moment.
So what? I need to go back and listen. So that was the other place.
So we've just gone through, right. So this is the trajectory of how it goes, right? Ma's accosted. Then the epic scene in the house where Pa finds out she's been accosted.
Right.
Then he goes out, this epic fight scene, right? We're going dark, dark, dark. Then Pa is found in the back of a wreck, completely passed out like crazy.
Yeah.
And then the music goes boing, dicka, boing, dicka, boing, ding, boing. It's like, what is happening?
I always
Who
feel like
made
David
that
Rose's
decision?
instincts were so dead on right all the time.
But I wonder, was that Victor French's choice since he was directing this episode, or like what?
That's
was
not
that
the way the show
choice?
worked. That's not the way the show worked. David would have spotted the show on his own. It's possible that a director could have been there, but you wonder what's Boink to the Boink have to do with that.
There was another weird one. There's another
so bad.
When Ma runs back to the house and she's traumatized and screaming, running back to the house, this music kicks in and they go it's dark, but it's the weirdest music theme I think I've heard on the show today. One of the oddest. It's really weird. It's like, okay, is this horror movie music? What is this music and why is it so strange? And
it is just so,
what is that?
I just will never understand the choice.
Yeah. No, it is interesting. So then advancing into the story now, Doc Baker's at the house trying to put Pa back together again. 3 broken ribs. You're not going. You get your Pa shirtless moment.
Amen, hallelujah.
Yeah,
and it's a miracle he's alive because
Charles.
What they've done, throwing him in the wagon, this is the 1800s equivalent of beating someone half to death and leaving them in the trunk of their car.
Absolutely.
That's literally what they have done to him.
Right.
And then Reverend Alden shows up, and Pa has a real moment of clarity here.
Yes,
about
he does.
This is what you get for kindness to people who don't deserve kindness.
Right. Which is a conundrum because, again, the teaching Christianity of turning the cheek and loving thy neighbor but
Reverend Alden can't approve of the decision to have the fight. I can't approve of your actions.
Right.
And then Pa says, there's nothing else to talk about. Pa knows, as the conscience of everybody in this, I mean, Reverend Alden is a conscience of everybody, but Pa knows. Reverend Alden didn't see it.
Right.
Pa did see it. He experienced it. Everyone is going to be with Pa in this moment.
Well, and again, the conundrum of what do you do when you see a violent or a criminal act or pure evil, quite frankly, right? Where you go, but love thy neighbor and forgiveness, and yet, no, you actually have to do something about it too. You can't just, there has to be action as well as humanity.
There is the outrage, but there has to be a response.
Right.
And at that moment, Mr. Edwards says, I'll take care of this. You're hurt. You're my friend. I'm going to take care of this. And Pa says, no, you need to stay out of this. This is mine. I've got this. Now, he's in no position to act on this now, but you need to stay out of this. This is mine. And as we wind to the end here, they have the conversation. The Gallanders spin the lie about the mother.
That's right.
They do all of that.
Oh, the mother.
I love another favorite Mickey LeClaire moment. Oh no, she ran off with the drummer.
The drummer.
Yeah, what the drummer?
It's always the drummer.
Those dirty musicians.
It's always the drummer.
It's always the drummer.
It's always the drummer or the bass player.
The worst one in the band. It's always the drummer steals
notoriously.
the girl. And I guess it's a 1970s joke, but in the 1800s, yes, it's still the damn.
Still the drummer.
The drummer. I died when he said that. I did too.
It's a funny line. Yeah.
It is.
He delivered it beautifully.
And that was the Reverend's breaking point because he realized, they lied to me also.
And then then Mary gets that moment. And I'm sorry I'm speeding us along because we need to button this up. But so we're speeding along and we get back to the schoolyard. Bubba steals the tablet. He takes the marbles and I think that's right. No, he takes the tablet. Yeah. And Mary stands up for the final. We're not going to crawl to you anymore.
Right.
It's time to stand up for what's right.
Kudos to Mary, by the way.
So Mary is the voice of this is all going to turn now. And it happens in the schoolyard. Go talk to your pa. My brothers taught him how to belly crawl.
And then
they fight.
She whacks him. I think she whacks him with her lunch pail, which is freaking intense.
Before. She's done before Mary and the metal lunch pail. It's like her
gotta save the manicure. That's why.
Get between Mary and the metal lunch pail. It's like
I actually rewound it and watched it again because I was like, did she just smack him with the lunch pail? That is intense.
And he went down pretty hard.
Yes.
He did go down pretty hard.
And then what happens? Then they get into a row.
He's
beating up a girl again.
Right.
Everyone waits. They wait because, again, Laura and Mary are in charge. Laura and Mary are the defenders. They wait. Maybe Laura and Mary have got it. Laura's jumped in. Maybe she's got it.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
Okay. And then.
So at the end of Act 3, we're seeing the children where the adults can't do it yet, although Pa has started this process, but the children have said, we're going to stand together. And we're going to handle this. And this is the powerful,
That's right.
Anybody watching this is the powerful allegorical moment.
Yes.
For everybody to see that it's time to stand up
together
and be counted.
Right. Because there are more of us than there are of you. Right.
Right.
And the power in in numbers. Absolutely. It's great.
So, as we start Act 4, Mary says we have to stand together. If you stand together, or no, Pa says. Is it Pa says, or is it Ma who says?
Mary's the big
Mary, if you stand together, you don't have to be. Mary says it. If you stand together, you don't have to be afraid.
Yes.
Right.
And again, like I said, it's very Handmaid's Tale, where all the women finally come together and beat the crud out of the bad guy.
And Paul even says Laura should do my fighting for me.
It's surprising to me, as central a figure, as important a figure as Laura is in the crafting of these stories, and she has many wonderful moments throughout the life of the series, obviously. But Mary is the rock strength.
She is.
And there is no moral ambiguity or doubt in Mary. She knows what's right and wrong. We call her, we've called her a narc. We've called her, we've made all these things we've said about her.
She is a narc.
But there's no question that Mary knows right from wrong.
Yeah. Yes. And she has a strength
they wrote her, she will say what's right and wrong.
And, Laura, again, she's very much a little girl in this episode.
Yeah, no question.
When they, after he beats the crap out of Mary and gives her this horrific purple swollen eye, they're in bed, going to bed that night, and Laura's going, "Hey, maybe we'll find a frog and put it down his shirt. That'll teach him." And it's like, "Oh, honey, you
I don't want to go there. Let's not go
out
there.
of your depths, honey.
Right.
This is not." This is not Pee Wee Lee.
Yeah.
This is the big time. Yeah. The classic frog down the shirt move. No, that's not going to work this time.
Now we head into the penultimate or the final moment of this, and this is where I think they whiffed.
Interesting. Talk to me about it.
In church, if this is the moment where they're being called out in front of the town, and all that happens is, for Dabbs Greer, and I get why it needed to happen this way, but Dabbs Greer was in no way a menacing presence.
No.
The idea that Dabbs Greer could take Jeffrey Lewis or take Sam Gallagher and slam him up against a wall.
The Reverend throwing hands, right?
And that's all it took. And then, then Mr. Edwards grabs George and pins him back. And that's all they need to say, all right, we'll leave town. Right. I just sort of have the feeling that the resolve on this is going to be much more, to really make this happen. The resolve on this is not just a twisted arm and a hard grab. There is something else that needs to happen here. And this is very surprising to me that this ended like this.
I kind of got it because, okay, for they have no sheriff, I would have been, can somebody go to Mankato and get the freaking sheriff?
I know, there's no police in Walnut Grove. Right.
They are their own police.
Someone should have been riding to Mankato to get a sheriff. But, okay, apparently the Reverend Alden, wrestled in college or something? Where did that come from? That he suddenly got a guy up against him?
I'm sorry, did they say that? Did I miss that?
Well, apparently, because Reverend Alden, he's suddenly a bouncer and he's got a guy against the thing.
I'm like, extracurricular activity in seminary.
Where did he learn to do that? Where did he learn to do that?
It's so counter to everything he has said.
I know, but as a viewer, it is freaking satisfying.
Oh, is it enough? Do you feel like it was enough?
So satisfying because the whole time you're going, Reverend, I know you're a good man. I know you're a good Christian. I know you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, but come on. And you're just waiting for it. And so when he finally does, I mean, sure, would that have happened in reality? No. But as the viewer, it is so satisfying that the Reverend is finally putting down, setting the boundary,
in his words, he starts with, let's talk about heaven and hell has a purpose. And it's noble to turn the other cheek, but when the devil is in our midst,
that's it. He goes, that's it.
And George says, are you slurring my brothers? We're a town and a community. And that's when Reverend Alden...
Which is a ballsy move that right in the Reverend's face, he goes, are you talking to me? There in church.
Every man in the community is right there. Everyone knows. These guys took a chance even coming to church. It's amazing that they came
to church.
I thought it kind of worked because one of the running premises was these guys are craven, miserable cowards. Look who they go after. They try to scare Mrs. Oldevaz. They attacking a woman. Little Bubba beating up girls. Do you see Bubba beating up any boys? Did Bubba beat up a single boy? No, he did not.
No, didn't lay a hand on a boy.
These guys are miserable, craven little cowards.
And now, they did beat the hell out of Pa, which was but they teamed up to do it.
They took two of them and a weapon.
Hell out of Pa.
And they even said, hey, this is a great town, these God-fearing people. Easy pickings, easy pickings. So the idea, when they got to church, they were outnumbered. They were vastly outnumbered, and there were actual men. They were almost like, none of these guys are going to do it. And when everyone stood up, they went, oh, crap, outnumbered. And they don't want a fair fight.
So the grift is over, basically, is what you're saying.
The grift is over.
And that's what I took. That's what I took about it too, is that they knew the grift was over. There was nothing more they could do in that town because the jig was up.
I like the Reverend Alden because then it's a weird subliminal thing. Wait, you mean the Reverend has been physically capable of taking people down and putting them against a wall and breaking arms? The Reverend Alden had that ace hidden all this time.
So and just never used it because it wasn't necessary.
Because he's so good. The Reverend Alden
and because it was a choice.
Is a physically powerful man and has chosen to be a pacifist and do all this when he could have beat the crap out of you the whole time.
Right.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. Which is why he's such a good man. And also, can we just reiterate, even just what the Reverend said in the church, that we are a community, right?
Yes.
Just those themes that I think the strongest theme of Little House on the Prairie is community. And this is just such a beautiful example, albeit turned violent, but that example of the community is what matters. The community is what comes together to defeat evil, right?
And then the last scene, interesting to me, they're marching the Gallanders out of town singing Onward Christian Soldiers, the same song that we sang as a community as we marched out of town for the last time at the end of the last farewell.
Yep.
And Carolyn,
I just think that's a really interesting choice.
And he tells Carolyn to lead the ladies. That's Carolyn's comeback.
Right.
Carolyn, you lead the women in singing Onward Christian. So that's her moment to go, okay, I can't beat them up for this. The guys, I get to lead the women in singing the anthem as we take them out.
Listen, they only had two songs that they sang in church. What was it? It was four.
But there weren't many songs.
Soldiers, bringing in the sheaves.
Right.
What else? It was those two.
Ring the bells of heaven.
Oh, right. Okay.
And
But that
Jesus
wasn't
loves
as
me.
much. That wasn't as much as the other two. The top two hits were On Your Christian Shoulders or Bringing in the Sheaves. And you're not going to sing Bringing in the Sheaves when you're marching
and the
the
shot
Gallanders
was
out of town.
virtually identical, although there was more compression. There was more compression on this one. It was a tighter shot. The people filled the frame more.
Yes.
The Last Farewell shot is a wider shot. You see the deeper line of people coming through town, but it's essentially the same idea.
Yes.
Visually.
Was it a callback? Was it a callback to this episode? The theme of running the bullies out of town? Was it like subliminally a thing?
I mean, they needed to, in the end, it needed to be leading Nathan Lasseter out of town in The Last Farewell. But of course, they'd already made their decision about how they were going to handle this. It was over. So, but I was really struck by that moment.
So were you
the choice
let
of
down?
that song and that shot? And
So you felt let down by the end of this episode, Dean?
I did, because I didn't feel like these guys got really what was coming to them.
Right. They should be in prison. They should be
I feel
not
like they're just going to go off to another town and do it again.
Yeah,
you're right, and beat more women.
They didn't go to Mankato to get.
I mean, I just kept thinking of all the women they're going to be beating.
Yeah. That's right. He's between there and Mankato when the sheriff gets. Bob watches. He kind of like the end. He went, "Oh, it's brother, where art thou?" They're running them out on the rail.
Okay.
He's like, did they have a rail? It's like that scene. I get it. So he saw you, went, okay, like he kind of got it. But yeah, I mean, there's a sheriff in Mankato. They could have gotten the sheriff. They should have gone to jail. The fact that they let them go to the next town.
I know,
it's
but they
disturbing.
handled it themselves. They
Who
were
knows?
the community.
Maybe they're marching into the nearest wagon and taking them to Mankato to the jail. Let's assume that's what's happening.
Well, we can hope that that's what they did.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hope that that's what they did. I think it would have been more satisfying for the audience if, in fact, we'd seen the clang of the door and the prison wagon drive off into the sunset.
Yeah. You wanted to see the handcuffs.
I want them to get what's coming to them.
Well,
and I think that's really important today.
Yeah, I do too.
People who are operating this way need to get what's coming to them.
That's right. Consequences.
There need to be consequences. No, these were consequences, but it was consequences light, in my opinion.
That's why, do you remember that it went viral, that video a couple months ago of the people that were having an affair at the Coldplay at the Coldplay concert, and the big jumbo screen caught them, and they, and then the internet went. This thing went crazy, and the guy got fired. The whole thing just exploded on them, and I was like, why did this thing explode? Why are people going so crazy? And I firmly believe it's because we are seeking bad guys to get some sort of repercussion, right? We don't see it at all, or very rarely. So when the bad guy is actually caught and actually consequences happens, people are going berserk over it. I know that's why that thing went viral.
He's mad about it.
It'll be interesting to me, and we need to wrap this up, Pamela, but it'll be interesting to me to see what kind of reaction people have to putting this kind of a microscope on this episode. It's just, I think it's very powerful as a looking at the world, prescient episode. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad I'd seen a clip of this episode like 3 weeks ago, the scene where Mary says, "We're not going to coward you anymore." I thought, we have to do this episode. I didn't know anything else about the episode. I had not seen it before.
Oh!
No, this is one that I had never seen before.
Oh my gosh!
So so this was a first time viewing in totality for me last night at 11 o'clock.
Oh my
watching
gosh!
This. Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah. So
wow.
So there we go. I think a very important episode. It could have been stronger, in my opinion. but the point was made.
And you know what? I think and that's it exactly. I mean, there's a simplicity in these stories, even though they can be also very complex. But the simplicity of this is right, this is wrong, this is justice,
Correct.
this is right
Simple
virtue,
morality,
this is
clear
it's
morality.
simple, and so that it might not have been fully satisfying to the extent that it could have gone. But the simplicity of the bad guys got what they deserved at the end, right?
Yes. Bad guys should get what they deserve at the end.
Yes.
I think that's what that should be the clear message in this.
And the only way that happens is if everyone comes together.
If people stand up and be counted in this and have some sort of cohesive, universal moment of clarity that is undeniable.
Right.
And that's how it gets fixed. Let's say goodnight.
Well, I've never seen more woman beating in any television
No, it's
show.
it was stunning.
It's
stunning.
shocking. It's still shocking when I think of this episode, and then when I rewatch it, it's like, holy moly, they actually went there. Anyway, we're all okay now that I hear.
Yes, we're all okay.
Boy, though. He was a very nice boy.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I'm glad to know he was a nice boy because he was a wonderful villain.
That's why I liked it. I thought he was really good at this.
He's really good. He's really good.
Horrible. Okay.
And, let's also pretend that he got away from those brothers and he ended up having a lovely life.
Maybe this was the moment.
Or he was permanently poisoned by this and his life was a complete disaster. I mean, that sort of feels more like where this goes.
For sure.
Or maybe this was the turning point. You guys are idiots. You got run off by a preacher and these people. I'm done. I'm done with you. This whole life, this whole scam of yours clearly does not work. I'm out, and bails because they're not nice to him. They're not nice to him.
We didn't see any. Was there any? I just didn't see visually. Was there any indication of that? I didn't.
Zero zip. I mean, the indication is he's screwed for the rest of his life, and but that's what you.
But they're horrible to him. He could at some point go, "You guys aren't even nice to me. Make me do the dishes and leave." Maybe
he still hits women, so wah wah wah. Anyway,
that's our show.
That's our show.
Take us out, Pamela.
On that note. Thank you guys for being with us this week. Once again, you can check us out on littlehouse50podcast.com or our socials, Little House 50 Podcast. Everything's going to be in the show notes. Join us next time. It's time, Bob. Get the wig. Let's fly. Down the hill. Get the Gallanders out of here. Run them down the hill.
We're flying away from the Gallanders,
We're just chasing them down the hill.